Hello, hello. Jola Pypno-Crapanzano here with Coaching Journey with Jola. And guys, today it's even more special than ever because I'm not taking you just on a short trip to Europe. Hello, hello. I'm taking you all across every border in Europe, all the way to Asia. We are in India with the gorgeous Shalini Aroraa Kochhar. Did I say it right, Shalini?
You're very close.
Welcome, 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 my beautiful friend. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and I'm really excited because it is actually across borders that we've come together. And I know that when you had set up this interview, you were assuming that I was in Monaco.
Yes, yes.
And I decided to sneak back home and you found me in India. So
Yes,
that's super awesome.
guys, we gotta disclose how the life happens, right? So when I booked this interview originally with Shalini, she was still in Monaco, so I'm calculating 6 hours ahead. I was even so much ahead of the game that I calculated that the time change in Monaco happened last Sunday, so I knew that it's going to be 6 hours instead of the 5 hours last week. All of that, except we did not take under consideration that she ran away from before all these things closed on her. She went to her own country to be with her family. And so this morning, I wasn't even ready for the interview. She goes, I'm here. It's 8 p.m. in India. It was the coolest thing ever. Well, anyway, we made it happen. Thank God I'm ready. I could have been in pajamas. Anyway, guys.
Really?
It's as close as you can get to a celebrity. This is one of the amazing co-authors of our beautiful book, One. That is an international bestseller, as you by now should know. And if you don't have it, you better get it ASAP. But
yes.
honestly, guys, Shalini is so, oh my goodness, it's like an inspiration in a box. She's a lady who, it's not only like, okay, from our perspective, she's a life coach, right? But she is so much more. She is a luxury consultant. She's an ambassador for many different organizations. She helps people all over the world. She's involved in many charities, mainly related to cancer. She's a Miss India finalist. She just I mean, I can't even explain how close to the top of the world she is. She runs her companies from Monaco and Monte Carlo. She also has her own fashion jewelry line. It's called really quirky, Saks, but it's spelled differently than Saks Fifth Avenue. and she is just that really fascinating person, full of joy, full of life, full of excitement. So I cannot wait to really just go into the meat and potatoes of this call. But before I go, Shalini, so tell us, you were in Monaco and you went to India because of what's happening in the world. We're not going to bring those bad words starting with letter C.
Yes.
However, so how is it where you are right now? Where in India are you? And how is it the situation with the I know you are in a mandatory quarantine now, right?
Yes, we are. So, the amazing part is that this COVID-19, and I'm going to say it because it's a reality, and we are actually, who would have imagined that we all are living through a pandemic, and it is happening. It is reality. And that's the reason you and me as coaches, we have to make sure that people understand that the situation is real. And they do abide by the rules, because one mistake is leading to so many people getting affected. And we could be across continents, we could be anywhere in the world at this point in time, but we're all experiencing the same circumstances and the same emotions. So
100%.
Being in India here or being in the US, we're both feeling the same thing and feeling the same way, and we're all locked down at home. But it's our attitude that is going to determine how we deal with the situation. So we have to keep our attitude happy and high, and it's okay, and how to talk to each other. See,
Yes.
It's literally like the Go Digital campaign,
Yes,
That's the only way to do it. Yes.
I absolutely love it. And the fact that we are able, still use this amazing technology that we have and connect with people literally more than ever. So we said that few days ago. It's distancing, it's more of that physical distancing, but socially we're more connected than ever. And let's keep it that way. I love it. So,
Yes,
Shalini,
yes.
I thank you very much for bringing up the fact of the attitude, because this is my point. Whoever I talk to right now, everybody says, "So how do you do that? How do you keep so positive?" I said, you know what? It's a discipline. It's not like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, haha, I'm happy. Well, I kind of am
Yeah,
happy that I'm able to do what I love, but there are dark moments. Obviously, I'm not
yeah,
happy about the situation, but if I'm going to
yeah,
go into
yeah,
the dark
yeah,
space, it's not something that I want, right? We got to keep up our spirits. And therefore, I'm so grateful for
yeah.
you to be here, because you just, that ray of sunshine. So,
Ah, that's
so
such a nice thing to say. And thank you for the beautiful introduction. I almost wanted to ask you, who's she? Who are you talking about?
well,
Tell me.
there is this new friend of mine who I actually don't know in person, is a virtual friend. So guys, if you have issues with having just virtual friends, you're wrong. It's okay to have them because they're awesome. Oh my God. So Shalini, before we get into, by the way, Shalini's chapter in book one it's written in a most amazing way. You're gonna love it. And I wanna go to it, but before we do that, I would like to ask you, so how is the situation in India right now? Before we go, because I always like to ask that question, how is in a place where you live and how do you deal with your quarantine besides keeping positive attitude? What do you do?
Of course. So the situation is pretty much the same. Like I said, we're all quarantined at home, and we are actually. I think it's the first time that usually they say sometimes that Indians are rebels. We're living by the rules. We're all staying home because we do know that if we go out there, it's going to hinder and harm the life of way too many people, and we are seeing the circumstances that are happening all across the world, like in Italy or France, which is unfortunately getting affected. Even the US now, the cases have just gone, spiraled in the last
Oh
few
my
days.
God, I
So
got
in India, we are really actually trying to follow the rules. And it's funny how, this morning I'm trying to stay off too much social media because I don't want to get too much negative information. But sometimes you get some really funny videos. And I was watching a video of these policemen in India, because now there's police all over the place, because unfortunately, there is a lot of uneducated population in India. So they don't understand the intensity of the situation. So
Mhm.
they have to be sometimes controlled by, being harsh about it and explaining that, okay, this is serious. This is not a joke. So they realize that beating them up is not a possibility. It's not working. They don't get it. So today the police was standing there, and all the people that were stepping out of their homes, they were, kind of, when you're praying, we do something called the arti, like putting a thing on their forehead and saying, okay, you bright people, why are you out there? So doing it politely, like, you dumb people, get inside the homes, kind of a
Oh my
scenario,
God.
but in a very funny way. But yeah, the situation has to be controlled, because a lot of people in the villages who are not educated don't understand that this is a pandemic and this is
Yes.
contagious and this will spread. So when you ask them, what do you think, why do you think you all are, why is your father working, not going to office, not going to work, whether a laborer or a shop owner, why is he at home, why are you not going to school? So they think it's a festival. They don't realize that
It's
you
crazy,
haven't got
right?
a holiday. It's not a festival. You
It's
have to
crazy.
stay
You
inside
know,
your home.
I almost feel that in countries where there is a little bit more of a regime, a little bit of a discipline, the spread would be much less because people are like a bit more, confined to their rules. Otherwise, in places where there's more freedoms, unfortunately, for this particular case, it's not a good thing because people are so used to their freedoms that any type of
Yeah,
boundaries that they are facing, they're not very much welcoming. Like right now, we were still able to go to the parks. And this morning, my
yeah,
husband said to me, you're not longer going to be able to go to parks now, even because people were
yeah,
abusing that. And it's still the
yeah.
distancing wasn't working. Well, anyway, enough of that. That's the most negative part you guys are going to get from this call. From now
It
on,
is.
it's
It
all
is.
going
No,
to be
but I appreciate you brought it up, because people just need to understand, and it's people like us that can explain that it's a situation, it's a circumstance, and it will pass. We cannot keep living our lives thinking that, oh my God, when is it going to end, and start stressing about it. It is going to end. It is a phase, and this too shall
right.
pass. So
And
I'm glad you brought it up. And now
yeah.
let's go to the happier topics.
Yes, and starting the happy thing with this, after every dark time in a history, the Renaissance happened, something amazing, a boom and development developments and some new stuff was just like exploding. So let's just think that the best is yet to come, right? We're gonna go up there, baby. Woo-hoo! And I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I want to
yes,
start.
as am I.
Yeah, I want to start with this quote because I was reading this yesterday because when the book first came out, I read the whole thing very like quickly, and then preparing for these interviews, I go through everyone's chapter really, really deep. So the quote from your chapter, I need to read to people because I actually don't quote. This one I need to do so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Now do I find the quote? It's my notes from my beautiful Shalini.
I love that.
Oh, Jola, that's not very nice that you can find it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the book and just get it straight from the book instead of looking on my notes.
Well done, you.
Find solutions, right?
I don't know which one you're
Now.
talking about,
So
or I could have
literally
found it in my book.
It's the beginning of your chapter. Empathy comes with its own hang-ups. Humans don't usually give a spiel about the importance of change until adversity takes them back to negativity, then they care. The real courage, having the balls, comes from smiling through the shit and flowing with the winds of change. The question, though, stagnates at the fundamental. Do you have the balls? Okay, it's not exactly, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? She just hits it on the nail like, oh my God, this is the time. It's change. It's something we did not know, we didn't expect. Do it, use it towards your advantage. You can control it, but there are things you can control, right, Shalini? You can control your attitude, you can control how you come across, you can control what you do with what you got. And that's what I loved it so much.
Yes. So, I am one of those believers of the caterpillar and the butterfly story, that for transformation, you have to go through pain. And that's what the adverse circumstance is putting us through today. I think it's a very humbling experience for a lot of us. And I was sitting with a friend this evening, and she was saying that, so we have this filtered water that comes into the home, but unfortunately with the circumstances, the labor not coming in, we're not getting the water, and we're all having to go out there and buy mineral water and do things like that. And she says, my God, can you imagine the poor who don't even have water, and they're drinking like the regular water anyways, and look at us complaining who can still buy it. So I think it's a completely humbling experience for all of us. We're making do with whatever the situation, whatever the circumstance.
Yes.
And yeah, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the word, but do you have the balls? That's what it takes.
Yes.
This is a time when you have to, and I always say that it's not just coronavirus that's contagious. Happiness is contagious. Your positive attitude is contagious. You staying above and top of it is contagious. Why can we not focus on those things for the moment?
Yes.
If I'm happy, my family's happy. We are exercising together. We are singing together. We're saying, never mind, we can't do groceries. We'll eat what's at home. We'll figure it out. That's special. That's sharing time together. We have to come out transformed like the butterfly,
And the two things now comes to mind. First, it's all about the perspective, obviously, because when you compare yourself where you are right now, people, you still have internet, people you still can connect, people you still have access to food. There are so many people don't even have a roof over their head, right? So in this perspective, we are still on top of the world. And the next thing comes to mind is that beautiful story of the butterfly. Because I didn't mention with all the description of Shalini's that I knew I'm gonna mess up something. I never mentioned that she's also a happiness guru. She actually is the person who truly helps people reach those levels of happiness. And there was another beautiful thing in the book that you said, that if you are in search of happiness, it's like, trying to catch the butterflies. If you go after it, the butterfly is going to run away, right? But if you calmly wait, you may just have that butterfly land on your shoulder. I loved it. This was like so close to home. I felt like, oh my God, this girl talks to my soul. That was so beautiful. And Shalini, be a storyteller for us, because I don't want to take it away from you. This is yours. Tell briefly that little story about the twin sisters from your chapter, and we're gonna take it from there, how you look at life, and with your beautiful hashtag ideas for people. I mean, this was brilliant. This was so good.
I'm actually going to open the chapter because it's I don't want to miss out on the important parts that I emphasized on. So give me just 1 minute and let me actually go there and read a few things for people. You know, it's funny how I have so many of those stories in my phone, and I clearly don't have the book here with me because I didn't plan for it.
So don't
But
worry if you like.
no, so but I do want to share, you know, my favorite one out of this one is that don't live a life of regret, because I believe that, you know, you read my line about the fact that go sleep with George Clooney if you must, but don't live a life of regret, right? We have to do what we have to do. That's one of the big things that I believe in. And that's the reason I go and I take life head on. Now, when the story is about two sisters with distinct differences, you know, one who's living life that is completely blasé without caring about, you know, anybody's emotions, and the other one is focusing on the good things of life. And at the end of it, the winner is always the person who keeps it in perspective, that you should go out there and get whatever you want. Nobody's stopping you, but you don't have to trample over people to get it.
Yes.
You know, there's a nicer way to do it. There is a way to be grateful for everything that we've got. There is a way to look at the glass half full.
Yes.
Gratitude is the
Yes.
biggest thing. And they say that if you actually, you know, experience and feel the emotion of gratitude, there is no other emotion that can be there in your mind or heart at the same time. You will
Yes.
only feel gratitude. It's
Yes.
a research fact. Howard says it, Stanford says it, everybody says this, right? So here's one sister who lives life by the rules, yet living it in a good way. And here's another one who's a rebel and wants to break all the rules, and she doesn't care if she even along the way had to hurt her sister to get her way, right? And she did what she wanted to do. But at the end of it, it was all those things that the sister was unintentionally or maybe intentionally practicing, which made her what she was. And the other one who was defying all the rules without taking into consideration of everybody's emotions, that lies back and says, oh my God, when life puts you in a situation, you realize that, why did I not learn? Why did I not do it this particular way? And that's the whole idea behind
and
the story.
start appreciating the things that really matter, because just for the perspective for people, so one sister basically goes out there and cheats on the other sister's cheats with another sister's boyfriend. Terrible thing to do, but what happens is she does a lot of things that are not really cool. However, she is on top of her game at that point. She has millions and millions of followers of social media, and what happens is she realizes that this is all superficial bullshit. It doesn't really matter. What matters is those close relationships. So that brings us back home. Like right now, people are with their families, people are with people who they love, who have that opportunity to rekindle these relationships, to be close with people, and you know what, now it will be the time that will, you know, really show what has to be fixed, or what is not fixable perhaps at all, because people are so close in close quarters that this will come up. But I loved how you wrote about this, that she realizes that, yeah, all that social media attention and love and likes means nothing in the end, you know, if you don't have the true connections with people. That was beautiful thing. Loved it.
Yes. But I think social media, even at this point in time, because people are overdoing it, it's not a good thing, because you don't need to get validation from social media to, you know, it's not the number of likes. It doesn't matter. It's not important. Yeah, as long as you keep it for entertainment, it's good. I feel that today's generation, my God, they're so affected by it, because they feel that, oh, so-and-so is getting adulation on social media, she's got to be better than me, which is not true, which is not how it works, because social media is all kinds of different people with different perspectives. There's a lot of people that go out there and buy the likes as well. So children should not get influenced. And I tell a lot of these girls who, you know, come to me to chat with me, because they, you know, so it's a very sad thing, but it's true. And this is real life. This morning I had a girl who's a student, and she broke up with a boyfriend. And now, of course, nobody's meeting everybody, so it's okay. But she says, you know, Shalini auntie, it hurts me every time that I see him with another girl on social media. So social media is actually contributing to so much of the depression that is happening in the younger
Absolutely. Yes,
generation today.
yes,
You know,
yes.
because in our times, if we dumped a boyfriend, we walked away from it. We didn't know who he was seeing or what he was doing, and we were okay, it's fine. We have to just work on getting over it. Here they're seeing it in the face that he's
Yep.
with another girl, and it's
Yes.
breaking their heart. So social
Yes.
media can have a really negative impact on your mindset. So we cannot do that to ourselves. We have to limit it, you know.
It
I
goes
believe that.
also, yeah, it also goes for the images that are projected. If you go to, I have, so I'm using this time at home right now for a lot of new things that I always wanted to do, but there was not enough time. So I'm completing some courses that I have purchased. There was no time. I'm trying to master new things. Like there is this platform called TikTok, and I just said, let me just see what it is. It's for mostly younger kids. They do lots of cool stuff there, but it's fascinating for me to see the image that it's being portrayed of there, like how you have to look a certain way, and kids are being depressed about it because they see this, that they all want to be that, and then so yeah, you have to be very, very careful. But therefore parents, should at this point, navigate through little kids' lives and just tell them, look, it's not always that shape that you need to mold into. You can create your own shape, right? And that's why when you talk to your clients, and by the way, one of the twin sisters was your client and you were coaching her through this situation, I'm curious, what was your advice to her at the end? Because obviously there was the bad girl that reached out to you at the end.
So that's what the hashtags is about, which you have to read out because you have the book in front of you. Unfortunately, I didn't keep the book in front of me, but you should read out the hashtags. So the reason for the hashtag was because I wanted it to reach out to every generation, and this generation only understands hashtag thanks to Instagram making it such a big deal. So that's the reason I ended it with the hashtag story. But like as a coach, that advice doesn't work with anybody. The minute you try to tell somebody how to live their lives and conduct their lives, you can be rest assured that's not what they're going to do any which way, right? So for me, it was very important for her to live it and to feel it and to revisit what she thought that her sister was doing right and she was not. What is it that she wanted to change about herself? And she had to realize that, not for me to tell her that. It was for her to, like we say, that as a coach, I'm only a mirror. You have to just use me to say how you feel and what you do for you to change your life. And she did that. So the book is pretty much her saying it to me and me quickly jotting it down as hashtags, which is what I've done in the book, right? So sometimes your real life story makes it so interesting. And I want you to read some of the hashtags for everybody.
It was brilliant. So I will give you a couple of my favorite ones. So the one that we should really right now bring as a conclusion from what we just finished talking is that, for example, Pride Time is for the people that we love, not for social media, right? So stay off a little bit, just let's focus on what's important. And even like it's hard because in the jobs that we do, we have to be so much out there and connect. And I feel sometimes actually inside guilty. And I'm talking to my coaches about it too. I said, look, this is my fault, not everybody's perfect. We sometimes screw up too, so that's me now. Now, for example, smile, hashtag smile, fake it till you make it. Hashtag exercise and eat right. When your body moves, your mind grooves. Hashtag positive affirmations, positive actions, not just positive thinking. Come on, people, you know it. You can think all the things in the world. If they're not followed by actions, no major movement, no major progress will be made, right?
Yes.
Be sexy. If you look good, you feel good. Okay, let's talk about this one. Shalini is the beauty queen. Oh my goodness. Shalini, now, listen, my love, this is an important topic. If someone can get something out of this, this is such a controversial topic, and I love controversial topics because, by the way, no religion or politics ever. However, controversial topics of this sort help women to figure things out. So often says, oh, it's image in this. If for you feel better by slapping little makeup on, getting dressed, why not do it, right? This is what I believe too. So many times we hear, oh, why would you do that? Why would you do it at home? Because it makes me feel better. The idea that I'm meeting you right now, I don't want to crawl out of bed and come in my PJs and say hello to you. I want to look sort of presentable, right? So that's about it. And I
Of
see
course.
it goes across all the platforms. Lots of thought leaders say, oh, well, I don't need to do that. I'm myself. I am not going to pretend I'm somebody else. It's not pretending yourself. But if it makes you feel better, do it, right? That's what your line is too, right?
Absolutely. So I am totally not a believer of the fact when they say that, oh, don't judge a book by the cover. I don't believe that. I do believe that unless that book looks appealing to me, I'm not going to go out there and pick it out of 1 million books in a store. So there has to be some appeal to start with before you turn it around and read the brief on what it is about. So for me, I don't believe in this fact, and I also believe a lot of my friends will say, oh, I don't dress for others, I dress for myself. And I always ask them this question, that if I walked into your house in the middle of the day and you didn't have to go to work, and you were just sitting at home and probably reading or probably chilling, how would I find you? And they'd be like, in my PJs, right? Like a lot of people today and in these circumstances don't wake up and dress up. I think it's absolutely wrong. If you don't start your day by waking up, having a shower and dressing up, you're already on the back foot. You have to get out and keep it a regular day, look good and feel good, because that's when you feel energized and want to do things, right? Similarly, when they tell me that, oh,
that's why I brought it up, because like you said, this is a part of the morning routine. If I, for 20 something years, go to my day job and I do this thing, and now all of a sudden I change everything. Yeah, there's no day job. I do different job right now. But if I take this piece, okay, I may not be doing extravagant makeups, I may not do extravagant hairdos or like clothing that I would have like a more professional suit and this and that, but it doesn't matter. You just feel good, whatever feels good. If for you feels good, no makeup, loose hair, that is amazing. That doesn't mean you have to do whatever makes you feel good, right? Love it. Love
no,
it.
but that's true. And like I was saying that, when they say that, oh, we do it for, I dress up for me. I said, how will I find you? And they say, in my PJs. So I'm like, then who are you? Why are you dressing up? You
Yeah,
dress up to go out so people see you looking good. Otherwise, in your house, you're sitting in your PJs. So you're not dressing up for yourself.
exactly.
You are dressing up
Contradiction.
because when
Yeah,
you look
it's
good, you feel
contradiction.
good, you go out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Contradictions.
Yeah. and
Okay.
and and funnily, on a lighter note, I have to say this to you, but I always say that, if I was to just suddenly die, I want to be looking my best. So I'm always well dressed.
Oh, remind me if I forget, because it's a very important topic. And again, I'm aligned with your thinking so much. I felt like you are so soul sister when you talked about importance of leaving the legacy after after your life, that you leave this planet. There is something behind you. There is not just this mundane life of everyday tasks, and there is something more. And then your everything that we're going to go right after we finish with the book, with all your actions, with your projects, with all your charity work. Is that what you want to do? You want to leave that imprint in this mother earth. Yeah, so very, very good. I love it. So let's do a couple more. Self-talk. Stop keeping up with the Joneses, or should I say Kardashians. How about that? So many freaking people try to copy and copy and copy. I mean, damn it, live your own life for once. This is when you're
Yes.
going to feel it, when you stop copying. You know what I tell people? When I ever start to compare or try to do something a little bit like somebody else, my creativity goes through the roof when I'm me. When I do me, I'm on my best. And I know you're the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but just one second. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm going to take you back on that. But the problem we're having now is that we're not even allowed to step out to take our dogs out for a walk because they've completely quarantined everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually getting volunteers who are not in quarantine, because anybody who's traveled overseas to
Yes.
Europe, we're all under quarantine. So we have to actually, so very, very kind friend has volunteered to come and take the dog out for a walk. So I
That's
got a bit
okay.
distracted because she
That's
just
okay.
walked into, I had to share it because we're all going through tough times. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
so take
this
me
is
back
life.
to the question again.
Yes.
Yeah, you were
So
talking about keeping up with the Joneses,
and
right?
Kardashians, yeah, people try to be like these figures somewhere, that just to copy them, do their lifestyles. Do you? That's when you're gonna be at your best, right?
So I did write this because I'm a bit conflicted. There are two ways of looking at this. When I said it in this book, it's about the fact that if you're going to keep comparing yourself to others, that's not the right way to live life, because you don't want to compare yourself. You are you, and that's your superpower. So you don't want to compare yourself. However, my next book that's coming up, which I have written about the fact that it's very important. I'm a very people's person, and I imbibe all the good qualities. Like if I see that you're so super awesome at, you're a high performance coach, and I admire you because you are able to nail it in people. You're able to bring it out in people. So I will in some way emulate you. So I feel that the easiest way to actually make yourself better, I believe in carving my path where I need to. But I also believe that if some smart person has already, it's a tried and tested method, I am going to emulate that person. I am going to learn from that person and be that Kardashian or be that, person. So that's why I said that in this
So
book,
it's more
what
of
I
the
mean,
role modeling, right? If you find a person that's a role
absolutely,
model for you, that's a different thing. You're looking as inspiration, as motivation, but
absolutely.
just blind copying someone else's, style for no reasons, just to be or try to be who they are. That's not what we're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly. So I'm saying that as long as you understand the perspective in the book.
Yeah. Okay, love is a universal language, and you don't need to Duolingo to learn it. That's beautiful. I know. By the way, Shalini is like myself, that speaks few languages and so on. It is important, there are universal languages, and love is one of them. You don't need to speak any foreign languages and be able to transmit that feeling. And it's just like I know everything about it. Is so cool. So let's do one more. Grow, give, and forgive. It's only by giving that we receive. How amazing, right? Obviously, the truth,
Yes.
everybody knows. If we are in the service of giving, if we're in the service of just being there, if we don't focus for once on ourselves but focus on people that we serve, we'll be able to forget about it, even the problems, because now we focus on something totally different. Very good. That is
Yes.
awesome. So
Yes. I'm sorry. I had to change my location because my Wi-Fi was kind of cheating on me over there. So I had to change my location in the middle.
yeah,
Yeah. Now I can hear you again.
yeah, I noticed that you've been freezing on the screen a little bit, but the sound goes through
Yes.
very, very good. So you know what, listen, like I said, we're not creating this for perfection. We're creating this out of our hearts. We want this to be a
Yes.
valuable lesson for people. And if it's not, delivered in the most technically amazing way, then it's just out of our hands. So Shalini, like I said, book that we had pleasure to write together. And again, thank you, Mira, for inviting all of us to the project. I say thank you in every interview because I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity. But you are so much more above it. You are just like so much more. Your coaching, your consulting is one thing. But please tell us about your involvement with initiative that you started that's called Women on Top. And we should say women on top of their game. That was the title of another book that you had published a couple of years ago, because women on top may sound like quirky. So women on top of their game. You invited women, 100 of them, right, from all over the world, and they were talking about
That's
their.
right.
So I'll let you talk about that.
Yes. So Women on Top is straight after my heart. And because I was doing a lot of work for the Cancer Foundation and, working with a lot of women I was working with the widows. In fact, Oprah Winfrey was very kind to come to our NGO when I was working with them, and she came to India. So, and she's my idol, my role model. So I've been working with women for a really long time. And I said, I would like to start my own initiative, instead of going there and seeking and searching and seeing who's doing the real work. I said, I'm going to start my own initiative where I'm convinced that real work is actually happening out there, which is how Women on Top came about. And to commemorate this forum, which is basically a networking forum to grow through interdependence, because I wanted to break the myth that women don't support each other. I think we women, when we believe in another woman, we will, we've got their back and house. So I wanted to change that myth. And I started it with commemorating it with a book on 100 women entrepreneurs, which are 100 women entrepreneurs in India. It is their inspiring stories. And that is how the book Shalini Says Women on Top of Their Game came about. Now I'm doing the global edition,
That's right.
which has
That's right.
50 women globally, because when I did this book is when I moved to Monaco and I realized that, oh my God, it's a world full of amazing women. It doesn't stop here. So I said, I'm not stopping this, because even those 100 women were an example for me, because today we are all connected and we are actually helping each other grow. And there's no jealousy or keeping up with the Joneses. We're all happy to promote the other. And I said, why not? So now I'm doing my global edition, which has 50 women. I'm doing the Women on Top Awards. At this present moment, I'm doing it for people who've been working round the clock 24 hours for COVID-19, and I'm honoring and felicitating them. We have an awards program planned in Monaco for women doing exceptional work, which had to be postponed due to the circumstances, but it's going to happen this year. There is a tie-up with Be Here Now in Monaco, and there is a tie-up with Lux Pro, which is a luxury conference that happens at the Yacht Club in Monte Carlo. So we have the awards coming up. We have a movie coming up on inspiring women under the Women on Top umbrella. So all the money that we raise through all these CSR initiatives that we do go to various causes for women. And like I said, at this point, it's going to be for the circumstance that we are in. And we work towards, depending on what the cause, where it's required at that point in time. But that is the entire initiative of Women on Top. In the whole bargain of us raising funds and raising money, we also promote women like us, through interdependence. And it's a networking forum. So yeah, so lots of my brainchild, after my heart. My
Yeah,
heart beats
your
for the Women on
vibration
Top.
is like 500 times higher when you start talking about it. I can immediately feel how you're passionate about it. And I want to just bring another lesson out of all of this. You also mentioned, I don't remember, it was one of your interviews, because by the way, we switched the hats a little bit. Shalini is also a TV anchor. Again, something I didn't mention. She does tons of interviews for very powerful women. And one of the things that I came across was you said that women, strong women, will never diminish the other woman's work. We always lift each other. We're not going to try to crush the work. We're going to support and make it better and make it like, we're going to highlight each other and not to look jealously what you're doing. I'm never going to be jealous about the success you have. I will always try to, honor you for this and really commend you for all your work, because that's all it is. So I feel if you're really strong and if you're really confident in what you do, you're never going to feel, that somebody is going to take over your work, right? That is so big.
Absolutely.
So really, thank you so much for doing this amazing work in the world. As you mentioned before, you work for many different charities, very closely related to cancer awareness, the Pink Ribbon organizations, right? Shalini also got numerous rewards. I honestly, guys, preparing so long as I did to this call, I could not possibly remember names of all these awards. I know that one was really closely related to United Nations, and so on. So she is
That's
really
right.
on top of her game. This girl gets it, and I am so proud to call her my virtual friend. And I really hope, Shalini, that we're gonna meet. We're gonna meet either in your country somewhere or in my country. You're more than welcome. Anytime you come across to US, please be my guest. I'd love to have you. And it just be awesome. But we're not done yet. Don't think that I'm letting go so easy, because it's not over yet. We still have to talk about something that brings the creative part of you. So guys, besides all these lofty stuff and the ideas and help and inspirations, Shalini also decided that she wants to go closer to her, heart. She loves fashion. She is a queen of dress up. She just loves all that stuff. So she created her own jewelry line, fashion jewelry line called Saks. It's spelled differently than Saks Fifth Avenue. It's SAK apostrophe S. You can check it out. She has actual stores in Paris and Milan and Berlin, right? Am I right?
Yes.
And so you can check it out. She was just featured in the Paris Fashion Week a couple of weeks ago, before all this nonsense started happening. I was watching her high lifestyle, walking in the limelight with cameras and microphones, and I was so impressed. You gotta check her out. At the end, we're gonna give Shalini's handles on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, her website. You'll be very impressed. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. But tell me about your jewelry line. How did you come up with that, and it was a very interesting thought process into it, right?
Yes, there was actually. So I've done PR for all the luxury brands in the country, and especially the brands that came into the country. I would do PR for them. So, get them written about and do digital media, etc. for them. And I, one fine day, said that, what, I'd gone for the Miss India and I wanted to act in Bollywood movies and I wanted to be in the limelight. And I'd taken a back seat and I was doing it for everybody else. And I was like, this is not fair. I was meant to be doing all this and this is my passion. And I said, if I can create a brand for other people, why can I not create a brand for myself? And it was more to see where I can go from there, because I was always a creative person. I loved painting, I loved sketching, I loved all of that. So I said, let me give it a shot. But when I started doing it, I realized, oh my God, this is like serious hard work, because I actually wanted to employ the artisans in India, because there was a Make in India project that was going on where we were trying to employ the artisans here and, sell their products and provide food to all of them. So I used to go and sit for hours with these people and work behind the scenes. I realized that it was not so glamorous as it looks on the ramp. It's a lot of hard work that goes into it. So, of course, after a couple of years, I have nailed it now, and I don't have to go and sit there
Now it's
because they
just the beautiful
understand my
creative
mindset.
ideas and they do the work. But like with everything, yeah, you just have to get better with anything. But I am so happy for you, that because that's like those small little pleasures, right? Like for me, one of my pleasures, that undeniable pleasure to travel. I'm passionate beyond, like I'm like this, oh, I talk travel and I go like immediately. So now obviously for you it's also travel. You also love to travel the world, and to be able to go around and share your message, do what you love, you that fulfilled woman. And that's all it is. That's my message from today's interview, that I try to tell everyone that we are masters of our lives, right? We're in a full control of, obviously full control is up, right now a very, very crazy thing to say, but we're in control of our lives. We decide what we want to do with them. And Shalini is an amazing example of how you can put your life into that, flow, right? You do what you love, you're surrounded with people that love you and who you love, and you do what you love. And I mean, that's the word, right? That's the word that comes across. Shalini, if people would love to find you on social media, or what's your website, can you give us the handles?
So my Facebook is Shalini Aroraa Kochhar. My Twitter is also the same. Actually, it's pretty much between Shalini Aroraa Kochhar and Shalini Kochhar. You'll find everything. My Instagram, my website, my blog, everything will be under these two names. My YouTube channel is called Shalini Says, which is my hashtag. As you all have figured out from my book, that I live in the hashtag world. So it's Shalini Says. You'll find a lot of interesting interviews and videos under that. I've just done a Women's Day series in Monte Carlo with a lot of interesting women, Fiona Tan Piaget, and I'm in the midst of now doing a lot of, and in fact, one of the people that is an influencer and she's great with fashion, you should watch her as well, Antonia, who's on my channel as an interview. I'm doing a lot of interesting interviews in India right now with women who are doing some super work. And of course, now I would have done an interview with you, but you've done it the reverse order.
It's okay. My
Both
pleasure. Will be my pleasure. I'll anytime when I finish with the series that I'm going to, like almost middle of the April, I'm raising my hand. I'm happy to be there for you too. No problem.
Yes, I would love that, and I would love for you to be a part of my new project in my 50 top women entrepreneurs as well. It'll be so humbling to have you with me. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do that.
Make my
But
heart.
I do want to tell the viewers to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that's my new passion, and I want to do that.
Yes.
Well, so that should be fun.
Yes,
Yes.
actually, we were going live on Facebook. I think it went live really no problem, even though the screen gets frozen with internet. Every day I said to people, you know what? I'm not good at going live and making comments as it happens, but let's see what we have here. If do we have any comments? If people would be interested to reach out, they know how to do that. Other than that, yeah, like I said, we came a little bit earlier. That was originally announced. But let's see what we have here. Yeah, I have hard time to connect on my phone. I know we're alive. Anyway, Shalini, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that watched this interview. Thank you for, being here with us. I mean, I am thrilled to have you in my circle of friends. You are really an unbelievable human being, and makes me so happy that we got to know each other in that level. Thank you very, very much for everything.
Thank you. We attract who we are. So obviously we are both the same, and I'm lucky to have found you. And thank you for being in my life.
Ciao. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.